Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Tough Customs Garage YouTube channel. And today we're going to start some bridges. We're going to be using some train cars. I just got them delivered and unfortunately didn't get any footage of getting them offloaded, but I will show a couple pictures of kind of how we were able to get them off. It was close. The excavator was right at the kind of at the limit of what it could do in terms of lifting and how far away I was from the tracks, but we got them off. Didn't ruin the guy's trailer, so that was good. But I'm also going to give an update on the house project. I've been working on roofing for seems like an eternity. So I'm going to give an update on that. We've come a long way since the last video or any of the video of the house. So I'm going to be flipping this bridge over to check the deck on the other side to see what it looks like. Already flipped the first one over and it's got some pretty deep gouges and stuff that we're not too excited about because it's something we want to make look really nice. We're going to be doing this project with a friend and doing it for a customer of his. But we're going to make some nice bridges, and it'll be a couple different episodes of trying to do all the fab work, building rails, and also the prep work at the site before we get the bridges set. And we're going to kind of figure it out as we go along, just like I do everything, but check it out. This is one of the bridges. It's a little bit jacked up. It's kind of a bummer because I could fix that really easily with a plate. But this is a gouge, and it runs, I don't know, that's probably 12 feet. So that kind of stinks because I really want these to look really nice when they're finished. There's another gouge here, starting kind of in the middle of the car. Goes down, that's where that hole's punched, and then goes the rest of the way. So probably better than half of the whole deal is gouged up, which is unfortunate. So fortunately, flipping the train cars over went okay. It's pretty scary to be sitting in the seat and flipping it back towards yourself. But since I had the thumb on that excavator, it's fairly easy to control. My friend that was over there helping me get them unloaded basically said, there's no way this excavator is going to budge these things. I was like, well, we'll see. And it grabbed it and flipped it right over. So that old excavator has just been an absolute, just great machine. I wish I had it back when I first got it. It was just, all the catwalks were pristine. All the plexiglass was in it, even though you couldn't even see out of it. It was so old and fogged up. But just a great machine. So here's a shot from the front of the house. When I look at it, it doesn't really make sense that it took so long to do the roof, which I'm still not quite done. But it's pretty complicated. And it's not something that I do every day, so that's taking even longer. But there's a little, trying to see if I can see it. There's a detail like right there. So it changes pitch right there and basically goes from the porch to this. And it was just a really complicated spot. Another one over there. And then on the back side here, there's another couple little complicated spots that I've been working on. Just look at it and it's like, yeah, 3 or 4 hours, I'll have it done. 2 days later, I've gotten it completed, but it's going to be a nice roof, and we got a price of like $50,000 to install this roof. And I knew the material was right at $10,000. So there was no way I was paying $40,000 labor, and it wouldn't have mattered anyway because I didn't have the money. So basically, DIY. The lift has made it very nice. So it's getting there. This is a view from across the pond. You can kind of see the roof that I've been working on. It's really hard to get a shot anywhere else. When you're in the backyard, you're a little too close. We still have some more windows that we're actually going to take out of here. But we can't take the windows out because that's where we live. So we're working on kind of the overlap there, and we're going to put some garage doors in that'll make windows available for the new house. So from this angle, you can see the windows that are still missing. There's one behind the house wrap right there. Another window there. But we're actually going to take the windows from here when we move out of this. So for now, there's just going to be a hole over there, but I can't do vinyl until I get the windows in place. So I don't know. I'm going to have to figure out something, but I'll get it figured out eventually. So this is the man lift I went and picked up. It needed some work. Actually, the rotational little coupler, the basket rotator, needed to be rebuilt. So we rebuilt that. And then I've been working on replacing just some of the switches and parts and pieces. There was no hour meter. But the major thing that was kind of a bummer was I had to put a new ECM in it. And that fixed it. So everything works perfect now. So it is a super nice lift. And it'll make working on this really easy. It's a 60-footer. It's got a Dortz air-cooled diesel. So I'm really thankful for this thing. I had one last time when we were doing the garage apartment, and it had little quirks. It would travel really slow, and then occasionally it would be full speed. But it was a 96, and this is a 2007, I believe. And it was an 80-footer, and this is a 60. So that makes this a lot lighter in terms of transport. So it's pretty nice. So when I got this thing, it had a dead miss. And the guy I got it from said it ran like that the whole time he had it. So this dude has been doing a stucco business with this thing for a couple of years. And so I just figured that cylinder was going to be no good. But basically pulled the injector out, took it apart, cleaned it, flipped the injection line around on the pump. and hung the injector outside of the engine and fired it up just to see like spray pattern and see if that would even look like anything. Yeah, it was going wild spraying. So put the injector back in, runs like a top, just smooth as silk. Fires up. I've cranked it up 15 degrees, fires right up. So pretty happy. Can't beat it. I love those little air-cooled engines. You can check out how much stucco is on this basket. I would really like to try to find a basket for it because it would look so nice if I fixed or just replaced the basket, redo the controls. I have a new sticker for the control panel. I basically got the sticker because I didn't know what any of the functions were, but I've run it so much now that I just know. I marked a couple things like the start switch and high idle, but besides that, no markings. But I mean, these guys just made a huge mess. All right, here's the fire up. So this whole section right here had a hem that was like 72 inches long. So I mean, trying to keep that straight and make it exactly right, because if you get off just a little bit, it wouldn't line up. It wasn't right. So it took a little bit of trial and error. That was kind of where we started. And Corey, my buddy, was still helping me when I was working on it at that point. But then this whole little deal right here is just 3 pieces of trim coming all together in one spot. I mean, it's turned out pretty nice, but I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So I got to figure it out and just hope that it's going to be waterproof. And I think that I got it. I feel pretty good about it. I got a lot of overlap and butyl tape and silicone in the joints. So I think it's good. Next week, I'm going to be working on getting all the trim finished. You can see trim on that hip right there. All the ridge cap. I hadn't installed any of the ridge cap because it's kind of all hinging on getting all the rake trim installed. So like I have to get the detail finished on the back side of that before I can tie the rake trim into it. Got to get all that finished before I can put this ridge cap on. So it'll get there. But I'm so ready to be finished with this. But I'm getting close. Back side of the house. You can see what I have left. Ridge cap, all this rake trim. A lot of the rake trim's done. That piece is done. That piece is done. I got a cap on this hip that's going to run all the way over here. This whole porch roof. So originally, this whole roof that's kind of underneath the lift right now was not a part of the house plan. So we added all that. And this portion here was like a 14 by 18 screen porch. But Austin, my wife, basically wanted a lot more porch, and I did too. So we added this, but that made it where you have a roof directly under a roof. So all this underneath the soffit is just dumping into that corner. So we have that area and then this area, which when you don't do this every day, it's not exactly easy to figure out. So I made all that out of just one big piece of flat metal, folded that whole corner so that's all waterproof, it's not cut. And that just makes it where all that water that comes down is going to pitch and run straight off. All that's kind of layered together right there. So there's nowhere that water can kind of go up to get to any wood. So I think it'll work, but it's just taken me, like this whole little section from this rib to the wall took me 2 days because there's a lot of head scratching going on there. So this is how all this roofing material is delivered. They stand it on edge. I don't know how many of these crates I had, but the whole front yard was full of this stuff. And that's what I had left. So obviously a little bit of overage, but this is a picture of what I ordered. And it was kind of a crazy takeoff that we did to make this happen. But I just couldn't see taking a piece that's 16 foot long that runs up in a valley and getting 16 footers the whole way. I mean, the drop will just get exponentially larger as you make your way up the valley. So this is what we ordered, and it worked out. with some to spare. So this is kind of a brief walkthrough of the upstairs of the house. This will be entering from the garage. We'll probably have a set of steps here, but this will be the main way that we'll come in. So you'll enter into mudroom with a washer and dryer. This is going to be a pocket door. My wife loves pocket doors. Coming through that into the kitchen. So sink over there, range over there. One of the things I really wanted to do was make cathedral ceilings everywhere. I grew up in a house that had one tall ceiling in the living room, and I just always thought that was awesome. I might regret it whenever I'm the one that has to heat and cool it, but all this is vaulted all the way up. So basically all that frame is 2x10 to basically make it strong enough and kind of overbuild it somewhat. This is going to be beside the kitchen. So this will be where the dining room table will be. There won't be any formal dining room or anything, but a big table there. Tall ceiling, not vaulted, but still over 17 feet tall there. And then the living room is going to be over here. Again, vaulted the ceiling all the way up. But this was the original porch. So it still would have been very nice to have a nice big porch, view of the pond. But then we added all this. And then this will go around to the master bedroom over there. So it'll be a really nice porch. Even though right up above this is the detail that I've been trying to work out on that. I don't know. The framer called it a cricket, so I don't know if that's what it's called or not, but I'm going to get it worked out. Here's a few more pictures and clips that I took as we were doing all the foundation and waterproofing. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Tough Customs Garage YouTube channel. This week, we're getting out of our lane again, working on framing the house. I can't seem to find anybody to show up to actually do the work for me. So Corey and I worked on this week, and I really am not intending to frame the whole house. I don't want to try to do the roof. It's something that I probably could figure out, but it's not at all my specialty, so it would take me forever, and it's high, and we don't have a bunch of help to get that done. I'll show a picture of that roof design as to why it's a little too complicated for me to just knock out in a few days. But we got the basement done. There's a few little, one little like linen closet that needs to be done still, and one closet wall. But besides that, the basement's done, so it's ready for a floor system. We had a big rain the other night. Wasn't supposed to be any rain, and the little tent that we had set up over the saw was basically allowing me to leave the saw set up at night, and so I didn't clean it up, just left it there, and the dew wouldn't get all over it. But we had a big storm, 30 minutes, we got an inch of rain. We've been getting tons and tons of rain, especially for August. So it pretty much ruined the tent, as you can see. But it's like it's keeping it dry. I just realized it's still plugged in. I didn't take many pictures of that stuff, but here's a few pictures of that. And I'm glad to be done. I'm glad to be able to walk up to this wall in the front, because having that huge hole there, everybody that came over was terrified. Like, the kids play on the concrete right beside it, and there was like it was right at 12 feet, even though the walls are only 10 feet tall, but the depth of the footing, on top of that, everybody would be terrified that their kids are going to like careen down into the hole. So glad we got that filled in. walk up to the front porch. It's just, man, what a day to get backfilling done. So glad to be where we are, and we're going to be working on it for the next little while. Paying cash and going slow, but we'll get there eventually. All right, that's going to be it for this video. I promise I'm going to post some more videos a lot more frequent. I've just been, to be honest, frustrated with the house. It's really hard to film something that you don't really know what you're doing, and it's just frustrating. So it's hard to want to really put forth effort to make videos about something that's so trying. But I'm going to post some more. When I get this finished, we're going to be working on trucks and trailers to get that bridge project done. So they're here and unloaded, but I'm not at all ready to move them. We're going to do some fab work here, building rails and kind of getting a lot of the prep work done, get them ready for paint. I don't know if we're going to paint at all here before we transport them to the location, but I'll be posting more videos about that. We'll see you next time. Thanks.